Hello, you're listening to a We Will Fix It podcast short with Colin Thomas and myself, James Pikeway.
Because most people, if you've got a pool, are in one of two camps, which is for me, I've got a guy who comes monthly and I just stick doing exactly what we've got already. Because...
he just comes once a month?
No, he doesn't. He comes once a week.
Once a week.
Okay. Yeah, once a week. And he's great. Really, really good. He's actually a professional diving instructor, believe it or not, to a really high level. And then him and his right-hand man do this to kind of fill in the gaps between diving teaching. Okay. And he's great. The other school of thought is those people who manage it themselves.
Yeah.
In that situation, if you're managing it yourself, you probably have your own choices. And I wouldn't say I was an expert. If it was me, and this is purely theoretical, I would probably leave the pump on a similar cycle, so at least I'm getting some filtration, and I would shock it beforehand with a whole bunch of tablets, and then when I come back, I'm pretty sure I need to shock it again to really get that water back to what it needed to be. Yeah. But the one thing you don't want to do is to come back and see something that's bright green.
Yeah. So
overdo it beforehand, and then I think you probably need some measurement afterwards as well. Because saying that, isn't it in fact, you know more about this than I do with the jacuzzi. So isn't it the case that the sun actually reduces the concentrations of chlorine and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you shock it, I wonder how long that would last for.
I don't know. I keep mine covered, so it's...
that's a good point.
That would really depend on the exposure.
Yeah. I have friends who are very much of the kind of DIY persuasion when it comes to their pools. And every one of them at some point has hit the green pool issue and not been able to get it back.
Really?
So then at that point, they kind of realised, okay, I'm kind of out of my league here. And it's time to bring in the professionals.
That's an algicide issue. That's when you need to make sure that I think, and I'm just thinking of closing down your pool at home, because it would be like in the UK, you get lots of folks who close down pools. So shock it. If I was going away, I'd shock it. I'd make sure I've got the algicide in it, but not too much, because then it gets foamy. But make sure that that's up and keep the pump going.
Yes.
And I guess in this day and age, we've got chlorine dispensers and things. So if you could easily have one of those put in.
Yeah.
And so it's just like another. It's a dispenser it's in the line. Water's going through it, so you can make sure that you've got 2, 3, 4 pucks in there, and water is going to go through, and it's going to keep the thing chlorinated. So
cool.
If you're away,
very expensive.
I don't think so.
Blimey,
yeah,
that's a clever system, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a better bet than the amount that I pay every month for this guy. But then again, that doesn't do the cleaning bit, does it?
I mean, are you up for the vacuuming and the sweeping? And
no.
And he's going to make sure the water's okay and do that once a week, adjustment of chemicals, and this is what they do.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Tom, thinking about it.
Yeah, so if you're not so familiar with doing that, it's easy, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then next thing you know, you've got your chemicals out of whack, and as soon as you start playing the teeter-totter of pH up and pH down, and you keep throwing in some soda ash and some acid and ash and acid, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Well, it's interesting as well, because this is also the same issue that we talked about time and time again, about being realistic about your own time.
Yes, and your ability.
Yes, that's exactly, you're right. And so it really is, this is one of those things which sounds like way above the level, unless you really are prepared to invest time in it as a little project.
Yeah.